Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to break down a really fascinating framework for starting an online side hustle. It's called the $1 Funnel Blueprint. And yeah, it's a whole system designed to turn a single dollar into a steady source of recurring income.
But before we get into the how, let's talk about a problem that I'm sure is going to feel very familiar to a lot of you. You read the books, you watch all the courses, you get super fired up about some new side hustle, and then crickets. Nothing happens. There's this massive frustrating gap between learning something and actually doing something with it. The author of this blueprint, Fred Gillen, he just nails it with this quote. He says that gap, the one between knowing and doing, is pretty much what stops most people dead in their tracks. And this entire system, the whole thing, it's built specifically to help you cross that gap. Okay, so let's dive into the solution. The whole blueprint kicks off with just a single dollar. And this is the key part, it's not about making a quick buck. Its real purpose is way, way smarter than that. See, the entire strategy is built on this really powerful psychological idea, the micro-commitment. When someone takes a tiny, low-effort step, like spending just $1, it actually changes how they see themselves. It makes them way more likely to take bigger steps later on. It's all about getting that first small yes. And this right here is the core insight of the whole thing. That first dollar, it's not about profit. It's about psychology. The goal is to trigger a shift in someone's mindset, to turn them from a passive observer into an active participant. And that brings us to a really crucial distinction that makes this whole funnel work. And that's the difference between somebody who's just kind of browsing online and someone who is an actual buyer. This comparison just lays it out perfectly. A browser? They'll click a button for a free download, no problem. But a buyer, even a $1 buyer, has to physically pull out their credit card and enter their details. That one tiny action is a massive filter. It weeds out the casual lookers and identifies people with real intent. Suddenly, you're not just building a list of subscribers anymore, you're building a list of buyers. So, how does this all get turned into a system you can actually use? All right, let's look at the actual framework and see how it builds on itself piece by piece. This table basically shows you the whole system at a glance. It all starts with layer 1, the $1 ebook. Its only job is to turn those browsers into buyers. Then you move to layer 2, a $14 video course that deepens their commitment. And finally, layer 3 introduces an affiliate program on the back end, and that's what generates the recurring income. See how each layer just flows right into the next? So the takeaway here is that every single step has a very specific job. That first dollar, that creates the buyer. The $14 offer, that creates an implementer, someone who's way more invested and likely to actually do something. And that affiliate backend, well, that's what creates the sustainable monthly income stream.
And this is where this side hustle model really starts to shine, because it's not about making one-time sales. The real power comes from an affiliate program that can pay you month after month after month. The system promotes a software platform called Go Highlevel, and the reason is that it's actually super useful for anyone building this kind of funnel. But here's the kicker. Their affiliate program offers a 40% recurring monthly commission for every single person you refer. 40%. So what does that actually look like in real dollars? Well, based on their standard plan, which is about $97 a month, that comes out to roughly $38.80 in your pocket every single month for every referral that stays active. And this is where it gets really powerful. Because those commissions are recurring, your income starts to compound. Just 10 referrals and you're at nearly $400 a month. Get 50 referrals and you're looking at almost $2,000 a month. The effort you put in last month keeps paying you this month, and the next, and the next. It just keeps building. The philosophy behind this whole thing isn't about faking it till you make it or pretending you're some untouchable expert. Instead, the author says you should position yourself as a guide, someone who's just a few steps ahead on the path and is showing others the way with a system that actually works. It's just more honest, and frankly, it's way more effective. Okay, so let's bring this all home and talk about the big takeaway here. What does all of this really mean for you? It really just boils down to two simple things. First, you've got to understand the psychology, that tiny $1 commitment is the key that unlocks the entire system. And second, and this is the most important part, it's about taking that first step yourself. It's about finally closing that gap between knowing this stuff and actually doing it. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought.
The whole point of this blueprint is that a single dollar can be the start of a real sustainable business. So the real question for you is, what small, low-effort first step could you take today to bridge your own gap between knowing and doing?